And folks, it's 22:43 on the 11th day, 6th month, 2022. As you can see here, the beaming event is still going on that I was showing yesterday. This is a 48-hour loop here. Started at the beginning. Excuse me. I'm going to move the mic a bit. I'm going to get the start of the beam so we can get a duration. Right about there. Start to see its first nucleations. Alright, this is pretty strong. Actually, its first is pretty much right in about there. See if I can catch it. Right, boom. I'll call that the beginning. On the 10th day at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So let's see how long when we're gonna run it all the way till now, actually. So that beam is going strong. And it looks like it went off for a little bit. Actually, the full strength of it. Bzz. So we're gonna go through this image. Then it's off. And there's another beam is going on down here. Looks like a localized radar. See it? They got quite a reach, those things. And they influence moisture. Here we go back on again. Same emanation point somewhere down here. So you'd have a ship somewhere about 10:05 east. Right around 52, no, 49, 48 south. It's blasted. Swath's going all the way over through to here. You can just see the curve of it. There's not enough moisture here for it to nucleate a signature. And that's what that's known as, beam signature. Right, still moving along. Right, time's still going. We're nearly a whole 24 hours of being blasted with huge microwaves. And it's off. They must have had lunch. Or runch if it's the Chinese ship. And you got a new beam on. This is a long duration beaming event. And this one here is centered right about here. No, I'm mistaken. It's right here. See the point? Again, we're right along this 50 line like something's sailing along. There's a ship. See? Now I'm going to roll it full speed with timestamp. Getting fried, getting fried. Well, let's see what it's done. Is there space weather to cause this naturally? No. Clean and green, clean and green. So that's not the causation of that. So we'll click that off. And we will go to a quick sat viewer. This is, oh my God, look at that. Boom, 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 going over Gladstone. Boom, over Harvey Bay. Look at all this crap reaching all the way over all of Australia. Charleville, Roma, Birdsville, Maroochydore. Tendrils of death creeping your way. Brisbane, Tweeds Head, Goondiwindi. Gone with the wind is all these chemtrails here. Look at this crap. All the way over through to the Bight. That's not a little bit of space. You ain't driving there anytime quick, right? But this stuff's getting over the top of you awful quick. Chembombs suck. And here they are over the top of you. And they're not fueling the best of weather. Look at all this up and over coming into New Zealand now. This is what I would like to cover a little more today. Sorry about the squeakings, but you get what you pay for in a chair, and I think I need to oil it. Boom! All right, let's look at the Chembombs here, and I was looking at them earlier. Fueling this storm, fueling the rains, fueling the floods, fueling the snows. That's right, I said snows. That's right. That'll come in clear in a moment. Big line of chem bombs coming through here. Boom, boom, boom. It's all boom, boom plumes. It's amazing how much area they can cover with chem bombs so quickly, detonating all at once. It's like it's a plan. The weather plan. The weather plan. Plans to rain you out. How would they know the accumulation for 10 days if they can't even give you a forecast for tomorrow that's accurate? Why? Because your weather is owned. And there's something in this past they want. Is this a rail line they want to link one coast to the other to make the ports easier? Because they're tired of coming through here? I think so. Because I'm seeing an awful lot along this path. An awful lot. Far too often. So only you locals will know what plans have gone on here that's going to end up at Greymouth. But you guys are going to flood. If you have not already. When any of these snows melt and this stuff heads your way. Think about that. Think about snow might be here, right? And that's rain for you. But when all this melts, Arthur's Pass, and I've been through here. That's some steep stuff. Yeah, I went through there on a bus. Uh-huh. And what a beautiful valley that is. I'll tell you that. That was a heck of a trip I took. Part of my adventure to get to Australia. Somebody on the bus got sick. It took 8 hours to get to the airport, and I missed my plane. Yeah, adventures. 10 days. Again, snows. It seems to that there's not much more accumulation. That you're going to get clobbered over the next 3 days, and most of it's happening. Happening. It's happening. Your weather is owned. Your weather is owned. Owned. Boom! Happy fucking New Year. Happy Dave. Not for this ocean. Not for these chem-bombed people that are getting all this toxic stuff coming over you. All the stuff that makes snow. And that stuff in that snow, I would like examined under a microscope, please. And take it in a clean kind of way. Even a handheld microscope showing the snow with a big flashlight, torch light on it, will show what's in the snow. Enough for us to say. Look at that going off right here. Follow me. Oh, this is a hard cursor to see. I'm sorry. Let me do something for you. Pointer. Change pointer color. I'll do this for this screen for you. Sorry, but it's just how it goes. Here we go. We'll go back to that one. Right. Look at this one going off right here. And step. I'll get it back to that as I go over your geoengineering report. And then I'm going to show you about your winds and some of your snows that are going to impact Australia. And it's not as bad as people have been saying. Look at that chem bomb right there. Just watch this spot. I'm going to just move the cursor along. See it? Oh, good. I can point and do this at the same time. I like that. Yeah, that's a boom. Whoop. That didn't work out real well. We can go look at this one now. Look here. Right here where I'm pointing. Look at these tendrils. It didn't like what I did. See how it's swirling out here? I know them dots are on, but we'll just have to just live with that. Boom! See that moment? The moment of boom! Now you don't either. Let the fuse off. Boom! Boom, 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 boom. Booming up your weather, booming up your thunder, booming up your plumes. Boom, 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 boom up your weekend is all fucked. It's all smashed. Look at this shit here. Squares in your sky. Squares before your eyes. Are you going to confront this? I don't know. Only you can decide. I showed you some of the accumulations. It's not too good. And I did tell you, New Zealand, in about 8 days, I'm going to have to cover your weather because you're about to get smacked. And here I am right on schedule. Look at the EMF off the coast of Christchurch. Excuse me. See that? Fancy an earthquake? But that's how you make them. Watch. If I can go in on this EMF here off your coast. It's not a boom, boom, plume. It's electromagnetic frequency frying up your weekend. Bzzz, the microwave is frying you. Boom, boom, boom. You be a shot full of chem. The gas chamber has come to you. You are being cooked and cooked straight. You're being seasoned with storm seasonings. You have a squarulation out here. Things going all in the wrong direction. Isn't it supposed to turn like this in a low pressure? Yes. What in the fuck is going on here? This is called an impossible storm. This is geoengineering. High pressure on the low deck, right? See it underneath? And this coming in over the top. How do you make a storm? Mix hot and cold. How do you make a storm? Put the right things in the sky to make the particulates. How do you make a storm? Pay for it! By owning the equipment that does it. By owning the agendas that are trying to make money off of tax to pay for the Paris Accords, which has nothing about you in mind. How many directions is going to spread in at once? Nothing should be moving this way at all. Nothing. Because everything is circular, but yet there's something moving. It's saying the same. Electromagnetic frequency. Running your weather. Scamming your world. Look at the square in the center of this moving around. Look at these 3 boom boom plumes going off right here. Look. I'll let it go around the corner. Now we watch the center here. We'll watch right here. Now you see those 3 booms right there in the center of the square? These are catalysts that are going to cause a rotation. How do you make a square? Look up explosives and shaped charges. S-H-A-P-E-D. Charges. C-H-A-R-G-E-D-S. Excuse me. A shaped charge. Pow! Now I'm going forward. So look at the time on the bottom down. In the bottom left of my screen right here. So all the timestamps. This is your latest, not so greatest image of Tasman Sea. And boom, boom, plumes, fueling the very center of this storm. Now look at these 2 up here. Filling the front. So this goes around and has a cloud and has catalysts to continue making this storm. And I'm going to keep pointing right back at that spot. See him? See the booms going in front of it? 2 more occurring as this moves in a rotating. And now that's a square. Now, underneath that square, there's some more booms have appeared. See, I'm going to go back and forward. Geoengineering is very real, and I'm showing you it. Your own eyes should see this plain as day. Now, look over here. Look at all the boom, boom, plumes going off in this one area. Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a center spot. And it's in a hexagon. See it? Now you don't. Now I've gone backwards. Now I cleared an area with the initial boom. And now it must have shot out something that then booms. 5 of them. Right? You ever seen a firework? You get a boom and sometimes it shoots one higher in the air and it goes boom and it shoots something else. Boom. And they call those little pellets stars, I think. And each one of them can have different elements from the periodic table, which are also known as chemicals. And so if it's leaving a trail in my sky, that's a chemtrail just as plain as day. And I'm going to see if I can get a little closer on this. Just wanted to get a screenshot. This is just as plain as day. Plain as day. Your weather is being owned. And it's a prime example of the very center of a storm. Being chem-bombed. Now I'm going forward. And those are gone. They've done their job. Now watch for it to happen again. It's a continual process. So right now I'm at the end of the feed. So here in about another hour or so we'll have to see that happen again. Now I'm going to run this fast. I want you to see the method of the circulation. It's all right here. It's all going on. And I notice these things all the time. I've been watching these for years. This is that area. Boom, bada boom, 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 go the plumes. And when you see it going fast, you would have noticed that one little poof that went on right there. And that was quite a bit of booming going on when the plumen's there, right? By the pluminazis. I do not want you to see this. N-O-T-S-E-E-S. You see how this is going in one direction and this is going another. If you go in this direction in this hemisphere, you have to be hotter and higher pressure. And something has moved that way when it should be going this way. Things are going this way when they should go that way. This is a man-made storm that is about to ruin the weekends of everybody over here, to ruin the lives of many animals. Let's think about the animals here, you know. Again, they got ground nesting parrot here. It's nearly extincted because of 1080, and now we're not going to do it much good here. And here's your man-made storm, New Zealand Geoengineering Watch. Love you guys. You do great work. Now we're going to move over to Australia. The pluminazis, they've been extremely busy over Perth. Look at this plumes coming in over this side. Right, I'm going to give you guys the show tonight. Boom, 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 go the plumes off of Margaret River, Perth, and Jurien Bay, Geraldton. You guys you are in the geoengineers sites. See the plumes going off? I kind of gave you a 101. I know you're spotting one that I see plain as day, and I'm going to go right to it. Right here, look. See them going off? See the area of squarulation. Since it's not a circulation anymore. Here's your area that they're turning. See it? Always look at the low deck, right, to see when it's going this way on this, right? You ever seen how a dynamo works? Well, this is a rudimentary dynamo. When I'm moving that direction, when this chem coming over the top with all those different metals and all that energy in them, I will generate a voltage potential between the two that causes very major lightning. And I'll be expecting it when this comes ashore. Yeah, you guys have got Chembombs, man. And the old Walpole, however you're pronouncing that. The old pole. You're getting the pole. Poled. See it here? Are you starting to recognize now the difference between a chembomb and a chemtrail? Oh, that was a little too obvious, this area, isn't it? This is about as obvious as you'll get. It was like that one area in New Zealand I was showing. See him? Should I go out just another hair? So look at that area here. All right, I'm going to do the same. Then it's moving along with the flow, at least. The other one was going upstream. Notice how it stays square, but I look inside here, I see 1, 2, 3, some small dots. I'm going to hold it right here on the outside of this. Okay? Let's watch them go by. Look inside this area here and watch them plume it. I'm going forward. Backwards. See? Boom, boom, boom. You had plumes go off. I have to turn that the name off because it's getting in the way of the view. Okay. It's Orion's belt formation of chem. Oh, I'm going to come back here again. Evidently, I think I have to click this on here first to do that. You got an idea to watch that area, right? Pow! It made a whole bunch of them, didn't it? You have chembombs going off your coast. And this falls out on the waters, and all the seafood that you eat is consuming this. And even if they call it chaff, that's microplastics that's going in the fish. It's not good. And any excuse they give, I'm going to tell you it's something how it's polluting. Pollution is bad, right? And if it falls out as pollution, throwing my wrapper is bad on the ground. Throwing aluminum foil on the ground is bad. Spraying in the air and it falling out on the ground is definitely bad. We call pollution. That's pollution. All right? If I call it pollution, will it not shut your minds down that chemtrails are real? then I'll call it pollution. And it's all following this one circle here. Everything's emanating from this one point. This one point is being chembombed. Faster, 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 master. Master the skies. Master the weather. I'm tired of it. I get tired of seeing this. Our weather being on. I showed you briefly the chembombs going off over Harvey Bay in Queensland, but I'm going to save you guys for last, because I know you just love the suspense of it all. I'll go a little bit slower here, and we'll look at the corner of what's going to influence Radelaide. Bzzz, this chembomb plume. Just give you a little puff. Just get you ready for it. Some little puffs coming off. Not a disinfectant. These are infectants. They've been known to cause infections with too many molds in the air. Somebody was asking me, where is the safest place in Australia? And I'll tell you what, I gave that a lot of thought today. I did my determinants. I think if you're on the west coast of this country, right here, you're about as safe as you could be, because at least you ain't getting the molds. But you're still getting geoengineered. You're still getting fried from these devices along this coast, which causes cancers in their own, these radiations. Look at it. Look at the warnings you get on any radiation tower emitter. And, cell phone emits radiation. Microwaves emit radiation. Radiation comes in many forms. It comes off your television. It comes off wires that are not even running, that just have the potential to run electricity just sitting in them. Radiation comes in many forms. It's not just a rock that sets off a Geiger counter. Okay? It ain't something that they use to make terrible killing devices. Though sometimes they do use microwaves as terrible killing devices, as evidenced with what happened in Canberra when they aimed them at children. LRADs. Look at all the chembombs going off here. I'll give you a brief moment here of cities. In cities. Why? Because just how I roll. So here we got in Sedona getting boom, 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 plumas in Sedona. What we got here? Port Lincoln stinking a bit. How's it smell there, your air? Are you smelling metallic or are you smelling fishy? Look at all these plumes going off here. My goodness. Happy New Year. That's bad. Sorry if I'm sounding sarcastic and all, but I'm sorry. Somebody tried to scam me today, and it really took my last rent. Right? I'm not really happy, but I decided they're not going to lower me enough where I'm not going to give a banging fucking presentation tonight. So I will. You ain't lowering this kid. Look at the squares on this. Square. Right? There's something round here, so don't tell me this radar ain't capable of showing something round. And that's another plume we'll have to keep an eyeball on. There's so much to see going on in our skies. So many fireworks, so little time. Something is spewing something. Booming, it's pluming, man. It's from an emanation point. Something is booming, it's pluming. Boom, boom, boom! Go to plumes and fuck your day. There goes your weather, folks. Smeared out skies. They took the sunlight away from sea creatures. How dare they ask for money to do this? How dare that girl ask us? Well, she's a young lady now, right? She's gone to university. I can't call her a kid no more. How dare that whole system ask us for any money at all to poison our planet, to pollute our skies, to cause us to have any less sunlight at a time when a country needs to dry out from molds. And now we're going to go to the oh my God of it all. Would you look at the guilt here? Would you look at how much of your country has been smashed by chemtrails? Smashed. From Birdsville to Roma to Maroochydore. Smashed. From Gladstone to Longreach. From Alice Springs to the rabbit hole itself. Would you look at the guilt here? Mari, Roxby Downs, Lee Creek, you got smashed in Chembomb today and all this fell out over you. I sure hope your health is good. Bit of flow coming in off the sea. Watch this chemtrail. Sedona. Seducing you. Y'all need to become seditious. Look at this. Follow my fingers here. Well, it ain't a finger. Boom! That's a plume going over you. Just as plain as day. Just as plain as day. See him? See the chembombs here? Yeah, going by. It's like a star that's going by of clearer sky. So let's tell me that's an emanation point, and there's booming coming from right there. Look at this square. Ionized, nucleated cloaking of a craft, possibly, because these patents do exist, and that's maybe why we're not seeing what's doing this. I'm trying to be logical here. Well, I'm always trying to be logical because, well, if we go full retard, then we're a megatard. Right? We always got to have parameters. Let's see it again here. Boom, 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 boom. Read about ionized cloaking devices and the patents. I think Boeing holds one of them. Lockheed Martin. See the chembombs going off over there north of Mari? This is criminal. Criminal skies. Bzzz. You wouldn't notice it to just see it go by, but when you slow it down, you clearly see that something very bad is going on. That something you're wicked is going on. Well, let's have a look. Bundaberg, Emerald. Look at that crop. I'm going to have a good look at you guys just like before. See the frequency turn on here north of Charlieville suddenly? And these strato cruisers, as they're called, do have EMF emitters on them. Look up Scope, S-C-O-P, big letter X, Harvard, and then K-E-U-T-S-C-H-E. And you'll see the program I'm talking about. And it's done by Harvard. And it was funded by Bill Gates and the Couch Group. Or Koich. Look at the chembomb plumes here in a row. Boom, 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 boom. This is horrendous. Sorry, I went too fast. So it started there. Okay, here we go. The whole line of them all at once went off. And then smeared away. Just they didn't last long. We're talking 10 minutes between this jump and this jump before it dissipated into that. That's a very predictable catalyst, isn't it? 10-minute plume time. If we start seeing a pattern to that, does every cloud in the world only last 10 minutes? I know the average low-level cumulus cloud lasts between 10 and 15 minutes. But they don't usually have a big plume behind them like that. They would normally be a round, puffy cloud without a plume. A natural cumulus cloud, in case anybody's thinking that. Stop. Stop thinking what they told you and start looking with your eyes and say, hey, we got a new weather book to write. And isn't it cool to have science to actually see? Look, boom, 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 go to plumes. The aroma over Roma must not be very pleasant when the chembombs come over aroma. Yeah, when the chembombs come over Roma, the aroma is chembomboma. Yeah, I'll come up with the end of that. It probably smells like shit. See the square over the top of you? You got a strato cruiser emitting, or it's the Roma Nexrad's blasting, which is possible because that shit happens. Yeah, that's a big old nucleated mess of crap. And if this is undeniable proof of geoengineering. Let's hope this is still running. Oh, please. Yes. Whew. I tried 3 times tonight. I've been trying to do this for quite a while, actually. They ain't gonna lower me today. After what happened today. No, really, it was bad. Lost my faith in a lot of people. Boom, 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 boom. Watch this mess. I'm going backwards now. You'll start to recognize the methods of the boom, boom, plume. The chembomb. That whole mess of shit's chembombs. Did you see that 10-minute nucleation? Watch. Right here where I'm pointing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of them. And I'm going to jump forward 10 minutes. Gone. Now you see, now you don't. The 10-minute cloudburst, very predictable pellets. Now you don't see me, now you do. Now I'm gone. Yep. Seeing a method here, folks. Seeing a pattern. Starting to see a pattern yet? I see patterns in things. It's one of my gifts. It's one of my curses. See, well, I'm watching this one now. Now that's an oddball. Boom! There's the percussion ring. Shape chart says go this way. They even predict what direction they want the vortexes to go in. They're very clever. Boom, 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 boom. And now you see it, now you don't. Boom, bada, boom, boom, boom. Still going on. Not good at all, folks. Not good at all. And now let's go to your totals. I gave you yours over here already. And it's quite a bit. That's just the new snow. But up in the mountains over the next 3 days, you're looking at 7.8 centimeters. It's major. If I go with the rain accumulations, which is what I'm worried about the most, is down in these lowlands, and here is going to be extremely high over the next 3 days. Yep. I'd say within the next 48 hours is when you're going to get most of your action through here. Expect the accumulations to be higher inland here than this. Put it up about 100. Yeah. We'll put you up about... Yeah, we'll give you near a foot of rain through here. Okay, and remember, this is running off. Okay? It's odd not seeing accumulation here, so the mountain barrier is going to hold. See? Even over your next 10 days, all your totals along this coastline here is very bad, because you're going to get all the remnants of all the crap Australia's getting. But isn't this nice to see? Over the next 10 days, there's no major floods or anything in the weather plan for the east coast of Australia. Next 5 days, looking good, folks. Even though you're chembombed all to hell, you might get localized rain and a whole bunch of fallout and perfect fungus growing stuff for your molds. Right now, there's no big flood coming, and that's very good. Very, very good. Now, Perth, over the next 3 days is your main concerns. Again, this corner. Expect these totals to go a little higher inland. That EMF move that I seen is definitely walking this around the corner and saved Perth's ass. Because all the natural momentum of that storm should have took it slam into you. But for some reason, that was not wanted. However, this coming around this corner, these totals are going to be quite high. And by judging these totals with this rains here, it's most of it's going to stay out to sea, and all you're going to get is the upkick from these pressures. And these pressures are your pump. These pressures are what's going to bring everything in. And the only way I'm going to show that is here. This is what's going to fuel everything. This is what's bringing your everything in. This stays down here, it still brings it all up. This high pressure is obviously going to move now. Right? Watch. As these truck along, this trucks along. Once that gets in place, though, you're open for a lot of moisture to come up. Right? As this moves over, you'll see the pressure pump will change, and the line of the 14 will change. Right? Look for that. Always look for that 14 line. Goes way out to here. Right? You're pulling in a lot. So all your rain line is through here. So to get rain over here would be difficult. So this I don't understand. Right? That's a nonsensical thing. So only the interaction between these two same pressures and why those are mapped different means that there's something has been instilled here. You know what that's called? Cold air. Or something in the spray mix is nucleating a chemical reaction that's going to be colder. But it's going to be in a pocket. It's the only way you can get that to happen. And you are going to get some very cold air. But I told you that last week. Here's your storms that are going to come through and influence this area later in the week. But I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. Because this is just weird. High, high, high. Come on, that's devilish looking. It's very strange. All right? Because one will be lower than the other. But it's not at below 1014, so it's still considered high. But it's lower than that, and lower than that, and these are near the same. So you're getting a strange bubble up happens between these anyhow. because there's 14 lines up here in the tropics. So it's sucking down moisture. That's how that got there. Yeah. You got to understand your flows. Once you start understanding pressure flows, giving a forecast is a lot easier. And the same thing, weird thing happens with these two down here, but in the reverse direction. So you're getting a snow band through there. See how that works? Isn't this fun? God, love the weather sometimes. I love science because it's predictable. Pressures are predictable. Yep. Predictable pressures, and they react predictably. And boy, are you guys getting some wind. Blizzard-like conditions through your mountains are to be expected. This is very, very, very big wind. Your accumulation of wind is very high. I'm going to turn this off. We don't need to see that no more. Christchurch, wind on out there south of you, yeah. As I was asked. You got to be careful in these mountain passes or as you head toward the fjord lands. This weather is no joke. Very dangerous, very dangerous. Very dangerous along these coastlines here. Very dangerous off the coast of Christchurch. That's just not the kind of weather you want to be out in your waka. Or you'll be having a funeral in your waka. Hello, Nelson. You're getting a little bit of a break as usual because of how the range sits next to your town. But you're going to be a victim of the tides in the water blowing in. As we put a particle animation on, you see how that's coming in like that? That's what fucks Nelson. And so the flooding along here is quite possible, especially as you start heading this area here. So I've been here. I know what it looks like, especially along here. We'd be watching for some potential flooding action for those folks over at Richmond and Nelson. Wow, that makes it look real dramatic when you do it like that, huh? Winds through Australia still extremely high. Yeah, these are gusty conditions where travel can be quite dangerous, toppling trees. Sometimes it's best to stay in. If you're going out in the woods when you got conditions like this, the possibilities of being hit by a limb or a tree fall is definitely increases. In other words, you're a dumbass if you're out there walking around with creaking trees over your head. You'd be sitting home having a hot chocolate, right? Cut some firewood. Get yourself ready for the year. Do some stuff to prepare yourselves. You can make you can something. If you don't know how to can something, learn something. Like canning something, right? So that's a big concern for you guys, is that. And your temperatures are going to be quite cold. You got a pocket that's coming through here. And add to it the winds. And you're very cold. We've been seeing some frosts in places that ain't used to seeing them. So bring your plants inside if you ain't already done it. Yeah. You could mist water on a frozen field and cause enough ice to go on something real quick to save a crop. They do it for Florida oranges. So that's what I wanted to show you today. And I don't feel like doing worldview. Why? Here's a worldview that you needed to see. You see that beam? Did you see those Chembombs? Do you see that you've been owned? That your winds are being controlled by geoengineers here and here. If you don't see that yet, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to say other than Arrivederci. You know, what else could you say? Your mind has checked out. I can't fix this. I've shown you plainly that Chembombs are real. So, what are you going to do about it? Say no to the Paris Accords. Big love, peace.